Good morning, everybody. Well, let's head on down to this river and see what it looks like. I sort of can't see the rapids like I could yesterday from here, so fingers crossed I look at it and I get the confidence just to, I'm comfortable going over it by myself. The plan was I thought I'll get up. Obviously I've got to put wet clothes back on. And I said yesterday I'll sit by that river, wait for some other hikers to come down, and I'll ask them if I can sort of do the crossing with them. But I can't sit around like that because I'll just get cold. So I'll sort of walk back to that Kiwi hut that's not too far away and then sort of team up with a group of people there if I'm nervous. But let's start off, let's get down there. Let's have a bit of a look at this river, and I'll spin the camera as well. I'll spin it round this valley we're going down. Beautiful, beautiful view this morning. Definitely starting to clear up. So hopefully we have a better day today. There was a little bit of rain last night when there wasn't meant to be in the forecast, but either way, looks heaps better. See ya. So that's the valley the tributary comes out of with the river that I wasn't comfortable with yesterday. That's the valley we're heading down there. And if we spin around, this is where we came from yesterday. So just up there somewhere on the left is Kiwi Hut, and I really thought I'd see some hikers coming down. I got up half an hour later than I normally do, trying to team up with people, but still nobody. So let's go down and look at the river. Well, that's made a huge difference. I'll just zoom in here again. That's the marker pole where we've got to get to. You can hardly see a white cap there now. And even if I look up this river, I zoomed in on here yesterday, that there were some huge rapids here as that water came down. It's a lot smoother today. And looking in the water, heaps clearer, and I can't see any debris at all. Yesterday there was leaves and twigs and sticks flowing down on the surface. So we'll go in and we'll see how deep it is and see if I can get across. Well, I made it across. There was no problem at all. I did notice yesterday when I was sticking my hiking pole in the river, it was vibrating. The current was going through so fast, and there was none of that. That got up to mid-thigh level. It would have been a lot deeper than that yesterday, and I've heard of people going in and crossing rivers up over their waist and stuff, and that's all cool. Just depends how quick the river's flowing. That river was flowing way too quick to do that. There's no way it could have stood up. It would have just swept you off your feet. So, look, I haven't done any hiking with serious river crossings. I've done a few river crossings, obviously, on the trail so far, quite a lot, but I've had pristine weather. That's the first time. There was about 16 mil of rain yesterday, I think, so those river levels definitely were getting up there. So I'm really comfortable with the decision I made. I was lying in the tent doubting myself, thinking, you just need to get on with it or you'll never get to the end. Natural self-doubt. Having waited that night and then seen the difference in that river and just walk across like that with ease, I'm really happy that I made the decision I made. So anyway, let's push on. Let's get down this valley to Morrison's Footbridge, and then Deception Hut's the target today. And I think if everything's correct, it could be about a 10.5 hour day. Again, we'll see how we go against those TA times in the TA app. See ya. Well, bush bashing has to be done on the TA. You can't avoid it. And then there's bush bashing through gorse. That's not quite so much fun. And something I forgot to mention this morning too, I'm out here doing the TA, and not every day is going to be joy and fun. They're going to be tough days. Yesterday was a wet day, and one of the things people don't look forward to, and you've got to do it, is putting on wet clothes. And this is where you've got to go good with your gear selection. Now, if you went through my gear videos, you'll notice all my clothing's merino wool. I get the highest percentage merino wool I can. Some things are 100% merino. One downside to merino is durability. Those items that were 100% merino definitely don't last as long. Sometimes I'll weave an elastic or another type of material into it as well, and you get a bit more durability out of it. But man, it was horrible putting on those wet clothes this morning, but almost instant warmth. And the other thing was those sandflies. I showed a few images of the sandflies in the tent. Man, they were just swarming. I couldn't even get the camera to focus on them all. And even at one stage, I just needed to get up and have a leak. And it's pretty easy for us blokes to have a leak. In that time, I got bitten 3 times on my foot. And I was standing on one leg, rubbing the top of my foot on my calf muscle on the other leg and alternating while I was doing my business. So all those blokes out there, if you want to have a a little bit of taste of what it's like on the TA. Next time you go to the bathroom, try and stand on one leg and rub the top of your foot against your calf on the other leg and see how easy it is. See ya. So there is in this area a lake as well that's not part of the TA trail, and obviously there's no hiking trail to it, or you can walk to it, but I'm actually walking along a four-wheel drive track, so people obviously drive into it in their four-wheel drives. So a lot easier than walking down a riverbed, that's for sure. A gorgeous little stream. There's our track up there. Look at this deep little creek, and I've got to find my way up here without slipping in. But I'll zoom in here. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but there's fish in here, trout. It's just a bit too ripply on the surface, I think. So here we go, we're hanging a left. Pretty clear triangle on the tree over there, off to Morrison's footbridge, which is where I would have loved to have got to yesterday, but it is what it is. So let's get on with it. About 4 and a bit K, so maybe an hour 15 or so. See ya. So here we go. Our first look at the next valley we head up. And this is actually a section of what they call coast to coast, or it doesn't start here, it starts at Morrison's footbridge. So I'll talk a bit more about that when I get there. This last section, I sort of thought the track would be a bit like this bit I'm showing you now. That was a tough, technical bush section, up and down, big roots, climbing, steep descents. Took way longer. There was no way that was going to be an hour and a quarter for someone like me. But in the background there, that's Morrison footbridge. So we'll get there and then we'll regather. And then I think it's going to be an estimate of 7 to 8 hours, I think, to the next hut. So we won't be able to spend too long there. But we'll get over there and we'll work it out. Well, this is it. I always knew this was going to be a tough section. And it's massive boulders, uphill, big boulder hopping. And when I've got a pretty busted up ankle at times, this is just something I'm going to have to take my time on. I'll double check the time. I think they're saying 7 to 8 hours. So, you know, it's 11 o'clock now. I've got a couple of hours up my sleeve before dark over and above that to get up to Deception Hut. So don't want to mess around. We'll just get on with it. And that's the Morrison footbridge at this junction. As you can see, it's all shut at the moment. They're doing some repairs to it. Now the Scope Pass, it's starting to look a bit more Richmond Ranges and Nelson Range like up there. I think that's where we're heading. Must be up one side of that. If I zoom right in here, you may see a person going in. Oh, they've just gone behind the bushes up there, but with a really, really lightweight pack on. And this section's what they call coast to coast, which is a pretty famous race in New Zealand. And this is just part of it. They go from the west coast to the east coast. This is going to take me probably 2 days to get over this. And can you believe the best runners in the world will do this whole section in 3 hours? And that's not this weekend, but next weekend. They've actually asked us hikers not to be on this section then. Obviously not a problem for me. But I think it's absolutely phenomenal that somebody can run this in 3 hours. It's going to take me a couple of days to hike it. We'll get some footage as we go up and you'll see what I mean. You could also Google New Zealand coast to coast Arthur's Pass section. I'm sure you'll get some good footage there as well. So there's our first trail marker, and just up in the distance here there's another trail marker you can see in the middle of my screen. Just going to jump over all these rocks here and then right up that riverbank on the left hand side. If I zoom in you might be able to see in the middle of my screen. That's where we're sort of heading, all over the boulders. And this pool here, that pool's really, really deep. So we're going to go up and over that boulder there. You can see the markings going up there. Well, we're about 3.5 hours in now and 95% has just been this sort of stuff, just up a scree side of a river. Every now and then we might pop into a little bush track for 10-20 metres and then back out onto the riverbed, multiple river crossings. So not a lot to show you, we'll just keep pushing on. If something changes, I'll get the camera out. Well, I can't complain lately. There's been a bit of this sort of gravelly path, which is nice. You can get the kilometres done. So I think I've got to start going up a bit more of a valley and up a steeper gradient soon. Looks like I'm 2k from the first hut. That's a beautiful river now. It's just gone further and further up, and you see less and less water as you get further up the catchment. But look at the size of those boulders. So, a bit more rock hopping for me. I've got to get over there. Just leap over these ones. We'll get there slowly but surely. Well, that's where we're going. It is probably one where you don't really want to slip on your way over. How pretty is that? Well, this last kilometre or so after that last side creek crossing, there's actually been some nice bush and a little bit exposed just here, but I don't know if it goes all the way to the hut like this or if we go back down into the riverbed. We'll find out. So there we go, Deception Hut. It's 4 o'clock exactly. And there's a bathroom up there as well. We'll go have a quick break inside. I'll need something to eat. And at 4 o'clock, I think I'm going to push on to the next hut as well, which I think could be a couple of hours away, but I'll check it out. Well, here's the inside of the hut. Little 6-bedder. I'll just check that trail book there and see how many have pushed on to the next hut. I think it's called Goat Pass Hut. And then we'll decide from there, but definitely got a bed in this hut if I want it. Nobody here. Well, every now and then you'll come across a bathroom where the toilet door doesn't close. You can only lock it when you go out, so not the worst toilet view, I guess. Well, it's decision time. They're saying the next section is steep, it's arduous. The TA notes say it can take up to 2 hours to get from this hut up to the next one. They also said 8 to 9 hours to get all the way up from down at Morrison's Bridge. So take 2 hours off that. 8 hours, 2 off, that leaves me 6 hours. Well, I left at 11:15, so 12, 1, 2, 3. I was here at 4 o'clock, so 4 3/4 hours. Nowhere near the 6 hours that they said. So, you know, you'd like to think in that situation, 2 hours between here and the next hut. I might even do it in better time. It's coming up 5 o'clock. I've eaten, I've refreshed, I've filtered out some more water, and I've got 2 hours, they reckon, which would probably be maximum for me, and I've got 4 hours of daylight. In terms of hut, definitely got a bed in here. There's nobody here yet. It's a 6-bedder. The next hut's a 20-bedder hut. I don't know. Looking in this hut book here, 2 people have pushed on going all the way out to Arthur's Pass. There's only 2 people that have come through this hut who are going up to the next one. Unless people have been bypassing this hut, but I've seen nobody else on trail all day. It's weird. Only one person went past me. There was a lot of southbounders staying at Kiwi Hut last night, and I only just camped down the road and I had a later start, so I'm really not sure who everybody is. But I think the decision's going to be, I'm just going to push on. 5 hours for me to get out to State Highway 73, and then maybe another hour for me to walk into the heart of Arthur's Pass where my bounce box is. Gives me plenty of time to organise accommodation and that, hopefully, and work out what I'm going to do next. If there's no accommodation in Arthur's Pass, I should be able to grab my bounce box, reload my pack, and walk to the first hut on the next section of the TA and just keep on going. So it'll give me plenty of options. If I don't get up there, it just sort of adds a bit of time to the day, and I sort of be a bit stuck if I can't find accommodation in Arthur's Pass. So I think for that reason, I'm going to push on. Well, eventually I know the signage runs out and you just got to boulder hop up here. You can see that sign will signal on the rock. And there's still another post in the background, but we'll head up there and we'll see how we go. So we are pretty sure head up there and hang a right, and that's where we get over the Goat Pass to get out of here tomorrow. The hut's not quite at the top level of the pass, and this is that river we've been following, getting right in the top of the catchment now. So much less water in it. Wow, this has become more Richmond Ranges and Nelson Lakes like. This is just stunning, and I just wish every one of my friends, family, all my viewers, I wish everybody could experience this. This is amazing. Final scramble up this little tributary. Our water's so clear. And we just got to scramble up here. Hut can't be too far away. Now, if we look up there in the middle of the screen, that's the aerial of the hut. So from this hut, you can ring would call on the radio the Department of Conservation just to check weather, but with the direction ongoing, it's not a problem. And it's almost funny, but would you believe that's classed as a hiking trail here? I loved it. Well, there we go. Goat Pass hut, almost 12 hours a minute I've been going to get here. It is a little bit late, it's almost 7 o'clock, so I've only got a couple of hours. I'm going to get in, settle in, have my dinner, filter some water, so there won't be much more tonight. I'll check in with you all again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See ya.